Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you the process of making a clay pot in Blender. I will be going through the modeling, shading, and rendering. Before I begin, I would like to point out that I have screencast keys enabled in the bottom right corner of the screen, in case you need reference of what keys I am pressing. Let's get started. To start, select the cube and click delete. Then add a circle. Then tab into edit mode and zoom into the circle. Go to vertice select, extrude on the z-axis, add a loop cut and move it towards the bottom. Add another loop cut and do the same. Go into Edge Select, Alt and click this one loop cut, and use Alt S to scale it up. Then add another loop cut in the middle, and another on the bottom and the top. Do the same to get the desired shape of the pot. Now, to make the top of the pot, add a loop cut and scale it in. Now, go to the bottom of the pot, Alt select this, and click Fill. Shade Smooth. Add a subdivision surface modifier. Keep it at 1. And change the render to 1. Go to the bottom now and go into Face Select. Inset the bottom. Add a Solidify modifier. Change the thickness. I will be using a thickness of 0.057. You can make the pot however thick you want. Now, for the shading. Before we continue, I would like to say that I will be using the Node Wrangler add-on for shading. To enable it, go to Preferences, go to Add-ons, and search Node Wrangler. Then, enable it. Back to the shading. Go to the Shading tab and add a new texture. Press Shift A and add a noise texture. Press Ctrl T and change the texture coordinate to object. Put the scale of the noise texture to 15, the detail to 15, and the roughness to 0.725. Plug the factor of the noise texture into the base color and plug the factor into the normal. Go to the mapping node and set the Z scale to 10. Then add a bump. Place the bump node in between the noise and the normal, and plug the noise texture into the height. Then add a color ramp. This will set the basis for the color of the pot. Put it in between the noise texture and the base color. Then for the black color, enter the hex code BC610OFF. This will be the dark brown color. Then go to the white and set the hex code BDBAA2FF. This will be the light brown. Now go down to the bump and set the distance to 0.001. Now we have our face texture. But before we end, go to the principled BSDF and set the roughness to 0.250. Now, let's go to the rendering. Now for the rendering. To start, add a plane. Go to the materials and add a new material. Keep it white. Scale the plane up and go into edit mode. Click the back edge in Edge Select and extrude it up on the Z-axis. Then move it back. Grab the middle edge and give it a bevel with plenty of segments. Then Shade Auto Smooth. Scale this up, select both things, and pull it above the axes. Now, insert a camera. Use the hotkey Ctrl-Alt Numpad 0 to place the camera, or you can move it manually. To move the camera, click G and middle mouse button, and then you can move the mouse up and down to zoom in. This seems like a reasonable zoom. Then left click to confirm. Now, for the lighting. Add a sun lamp. Move it up into the side. Now, set the strength of the sun lamp to 4. Then, add a area light. Move it up on the z-axis and to the side on the y-axis. Then, move it about right in front of the vase. Go to the Constraints tab and add a Track to Constraint. Make the object the vase. Now, whenever you move around the light, it will always be pointing towards the object. So, go into camera mode, place the area light about right here, and move it a bit to the side. This will be the fill light. Go into rendering mode and set the strength to 100. Since you cannot see it that much, set it higher. I'm going to set it to 500. Now, Shift D and put one over here. Now we need a backlight. So Shift D, Shift Z, and move it to the back. Position it behind the object and scale it up. Change the strength to considerable amount. I'm going to put it to 1000, and I'm going to adjust the angle of it. Now, the vase is ready to be rendered. I will see you in in the final render. Before I render this, I would like to tell you about optimization for cycles. If you do not have a computer that can render with cycles, you can always use Eevee and enable ray tracing. But if you can use cycles on your computer to optimize it, first click denoise and under the render, go to the time limit and change it to 2 minutes. This will limit the render to 2 minutes and then it will denoise it. This will look perfectly fine. Alright, so that is optimization for cycles. This should be the final render of your object. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and learned a lot. Feel free to show your work and give feedback in the comment section. Before we go, I would like to say, if you want to save your image, go up to the top left, click Image, Save As, and save it to whatever destination you want. So, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.